The sky above our world, usually a calm tapestry of swirling colors and gentle light, was split open by an anomaly that none of us had ever seen. It began as a whisper among the stars, a story spun by the night itself, until it grew into a spectacle that no eye could ignore. I stood among my kind, our gazes locked upwards, as what we first thought to be a new celestial body tore through the heavens with a ferocity unknown to our peaceful existence. It was not a star, nor was it a simple meteor shower, as we had first speculated in hushed tones amongst ourselves. These were vessels crafted with intention, and brimming with life, unlike any we had known. Our world, a haven of biodiversity and tranquility, had never entertained the thought of visitors from beyond our skies. We were explorers of the mind and spirit, delving into the mysteries of the cosmos through meditation and astral journeys. Physical exploration, especially of the kind that had now breached our atmosphere, was alien to us. As these ships descended, their forms becoming clearer with each passing moment, a mix of curiosity, confusion, and an instinctual hint of fear began to weave through the collective consciousness of my people. The day they arrived, our world changed. The ships, towering and sleek, came to rest upon our land with a grace that belied their initial intrusion. From within these metallic beasts emerged beings, humans, as they would later introduce themselves, clad in suits of material that shimmered in the sunlight. They were unlike any creature our planet had nurtured. Bipedal, with faces that bore a striking range of emotions and eyes that held galaxies of thoughts and feelings. Our first interactions were cautious, marked by a palpable tension that hung like a veil between our two species. We observed them, as they did us, each of us trying to pierce the veil of the unknown that the other represented. Their technology was a marvel, devices that could capture images, sounds, and even thoughts, tools that could manipulate the very fabric of reality to suit their needs. Yet, it was their capacity for emotion, for joy and sorrow, for fear and bravery, that intrigued me the most. In those early days, I found myself appointed as one of the liaisons to these visitors, a role that thrust me into the heart of this unprecedented encounter. I learned their language, a melodic and complex series of sounds that allowed me to dive deeper into their culture and history. They spoke of their home, a planet they called Earth, with a mixture of longing and sorrow. It was a world that had seen its share of beauty and horror, much like our own, yet driven by a restless spirit of discovery and conquest. As we shared knowledge and stories, a bond began to form between us, fragile at first but strengthening with each shared sunset, each exchanged idea. They taught us of their sciences and arts, of the power of electricity and the beauty of their music. We, in turn, shared with them the secrets of the cosmos as we understood them, the pathways between stars that one could traverse in meditation, and the delicate balance of nature that sustained our world. But as our friendship blossomed, so too did the shadow of a threat, a darkness that loomed on the horizon, unknown yet, filled with malice. It was in the midst of this growing camaraderie that we first detected the signs, subtle disturbances in the fabric of space-time that hinted at an approaching storm. Together, we faced the uncertainty of this threat, our newfound bond tested by the prospect of a challenge that required not just the strength of our arms, but the unity of our spirits. For the humans, with their indomitable will and fiery hearts, stood with us as we prepared to confront whatever came. Their courage ignited a flame within us, a reminder that bravery did not lie in the absence of fear, but in the willingness to face it head-on. As the danger drew closer, our two peoples, once strangers from distant worlds, now stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to defend our shared home. The night before the threat would arrive in full force, I found myself looking up at the stars, not with apprehension, but with a resolve strengthened by the bonds of friendship and the knowledge that, together, we were ready to face whatever the cosmos had in store. From the moment our leaders decided that we should formally greet the humans, my life took a turn into the uncharted. I was chosen, for reasons still unclear to me, to be part of the delegation that would make the first formal contact. Perhaps it was my fascination with the unknown, or maybe just the odd twist of fate, but there I was, standing at the threshold of history, tasked with bridging two worlds. The preparation was intense, a whirlwind of learning and unlearning. We delved into the human archives they shared with us, a gesture of goodwill, immersing ourselves in their languages, cultures, and social norms. The diversity was staggering. A single species, yet fractured into myriad ways of living, believing, and expressing. I learned of their art, their politics, their wars, and their peace, each revelation adding layers to my understanding and respect for these beings. Yet, for all our preparation, nothing could have fully equipped us for the initial face-to-face interactions. The cultural misunderstandings were, at times, comical, at others, deeply perplexing. We struggled with their concept of humor, a nuanced dance of words and expressions that often left us more baffled than amused. They, in turn, found our method of direct mental communication invasive at first, a breach of personal space they held dear. Our initial meetings were a mix of awkward pauses and earnest attempts to find common ground. I remember the first time I attempted to use a human greeting, extending my hand as I had seen in their visual archives. The action, meant to bridge our worlds, only served to highlight the chasm between us, as the human diplomat hesitated, unsure of how to respond to my forefinger gesture. Yet, it was this very moment of uncertainty that broke the ice, leading to a shared laughter that became the first step towards true understanding. As the days turned into cycles, our efforts to communicate evolved. We learned to convey our thoughts through a combination of their spoken language and simple, non-intrusive mental impressions. This hybrid form of communication, though imperfect, allowed us to share not just words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. It was during these exchanges that I found myself growing increasingly fascinated by these humans, their resilience, their passion, and their capacity for both great kindness and great destruction. I was particularly drawn to one of the human diplomats, a woman named Elena. She possessed a curiosity about our world that mirrored my own about hers. Through our interactions, I learned not just about human customs and culture, but about the individual lives that wove the fabric of their society. Elena shared stories of her home, a place of vast oceans and towering cities, of music that could stir the soul, and of the relentless spirit of exploration that had led them across the stars to us. It was through Elena's eyes that I began to see humanity in a new light, not as the other, but as kindred spirits, driven by a similar desire to understand the universe and our place within it. Our conversations, often stretching into the long hours of our planet's night, revealed a depth of character and a complexity of thought that challenged my initial perceptions. The breakthrough in our communication came unexpectedly during a crisis that required our immediate cooperation. A human child, part of the expedition's family contingent, had wandered away from the safety of their encampment and into the dense foliage of our world. The search was frantic, with both our peoples coming together in a desperate effort to find the lost child before the nocturnal predators did. It was in this moment of shared fear and hope that our languages and technologies, however advanced, proved insufficient. Instead, it was our mutual understanding, forged through weeks of painstaking interaction, that led us to the child. I was able to sense the faint echoes of the child's fear, a thread of emotion that led us through the darkness to where she lay hidden, unharmed but terrified. The relief that flooded through us all, human and alien alike, was a palpable thing, a bond that sealed our fledgling friendship. The humans' gratitude was overwhelming, their expressions of thanks more heartfelt than any formal treaty could have ever conveyed. It was then that I truly understood the power of empathy and cooperation, the realization that despite our differences, at our core, we shared the same fears, hopes, and capacity for love. This experience, more than any formal negotiation or exchange of knowledge, defined the first contact for me. It taught me that understanding and friendship could transcend the barriers of language and culture, that in the face of common challenges, we could find common ground. As I stood among my new human friends, watching the stars that had once seemed so distant and indifferent, I felt a sense of optimism for the future. Together, we had taken the first steps towards a shared destiny, a journey into the unknown that we would now face as allies, united by a bond that had been tested and strengthened in the crucible of necessity. As the days turned into weeks, the initial barriers that stood between us and the humans began to crumble, revealing not just a pathway for dialogue, but for a profound exchange of cultures and knowledge. I found myself at the heart of this exchange, a bridge between our worlds, fascinated by the depth and breadth of what humanity had to offer and eager to share the wonders of my own world in return. For the humans brought with them technologies that seemed almost magical in nature, devices that could harness the power of the sun, machines capable of healing wounds in moments. and tools that allowed them to communicate instantaneously across vast distances. Each new revelation was a marvel, sparking a flurry of excitement and curiosity among my people. I, too, was captivated by these inventions, each one a puzzle piece in the vast mosaic of human ingenuity. But it wasn't just their technology that fascinated us. The humans shared their art, music, and literature, windows into the soul of their civilization. They performed music with instruments that sang and whispered, evoking emotions that transcended the boundaries of our species. Their literature, filled with tales of heroism, love, and tragedy, spoke to universal truths that resonated deeply within me. And their art, it painted the human experience in strokes of genius, capturing the beauty and pain of existence in ways that left me breathless. In return, we shared the essence of our own culture with the humans. We introduced them to the art of astral navigation, the practice of traversing the cosmos through meditation, a journey of the mind that allowed one to explore distant galaxies without moving an inch. This concept fascinated the humans, who had always conquered space through the brute force of technology. The idea of exploring the universe as a form of spiritual journey was alien to them, and it ignited a spark of wonder in their eyes. We also shared our understanding of the natural world, our philosophy of living in harmony with the planet that nurtured us. Our technology was not built to dominate nature, but to coexist with it, a concept that challenged the humans to think differently about their relationship with their own world. Our discussions often ventured into the realm of the philosophical, debating the ethics of technology, the responsibilities of intelligence, and the meaning of existence itself. As the exchange deepened, so too did our mutual respect and admiration. The humans were awed by our ability to live in such perfect balance with our environment, by the depth of our spiritual understanding, and by the tranquility of our society. In turn, were inspired by their zest for life, their relentless pursuit of knowledge, and their capacity for joy and sorrow. It was during this period of learning and sharing that I came to truly appreciate the beauty of diversity. The differences between us, rather than being barriers, were bridges to a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it. I realized that our encounter with humanity was not just a chance event, but a pivotal moment in the history of both our species, an opportunity to grow beyond the limits of our respective worlds. This exchange was not without its challenges, of course. There were moments of misunderstanding, where our cultural differences seemed insurmountable, but each time, we found a way through, guided by a shared commitment to understanding and respect. These moments of tension only served to strengthen the bonds between us, forging a connection that was built on the foundation of mutual effort and shared struggles. As I reflect on this period of learning and sharing, I am filled with a sense of profound gratitude for the journey that humanity and my people have embarked upon together. We have learned so much from each other, not just about science and art, but about the possibilities that emerge when disparate worlds come together. This exchange has been a reminder that the universe is a tapestry of endless diversity, and it is in the weaving of our stories together that we discover the true beauty of existence. In the midst of our flourishing camaraderie and the exchange of countless wonders, a shadow fell upon our shared world, a threat so severe that it threatened to undo the very fabric of the bond we had so carefully woven. It began with subtle anomalies, patterns in the cosmos that neither our astronomers nor the humans could easily dismiss. These were not the benign mysteries we had delighted in unraveling together, but harbingers of a looming crisis that neither of us could have anticipated. As days passed, the nature of the threat became unmistakably clear. A rogue celestial body, its trajectory warped by the unpredictable forces of the universe, was hurtling towards our planet. Its impact promised catastrophic consequences, not just for the delicate balance of our world, but for the very survival of both our species. The realization that we faced extinction, a stark cessation of our shared stories and dreams, cast a pall of dread over us all. In the face of this existential threat, the divisions that had once seemed significant between us and the humans evaporated. What stood before us was a challenge that dwarfed our differences, a test of our collective will to survive and persevere. I found myself thrust into a position of responsibility, a bridge between our peoples, as we scrambled to devise a plan to avert the impending disaster. The planning sessions were tense, marked by a frenetic energy that belied the fear simmering beneath the surface. Humans and my people brought forth their best minds, a convergence of our greatest scientists, engineers, and strategists, all united by a common purpose. The humans, with their technological prowess, proposed a series of solutions that ranged from the ambitious to the outlandish, each a testament to their indomitable spirit. We, with our deep understanding of the cosmos and its energies, offered insights that complemented their technological approaches, suggesting ways to alter the celestial body's trajectory using a harmonization of technology and cosmic medicine. As the days narrowed down to the moment of reckoning, our combined efforts began to take shape. A plan, audacious and fraught with uncertainty, emerged. It involved a synchronized effort that would require not just the precise application of technology, but a unity of spirit and mind, a collective meditation on a scale never before attempted. This plan was not just a battle against the cosmos, but a testament to the unyielding bond between our species. I played a pivotal role in this endeavor, acting as a conduit between the human engineers and our spiritual leaders, translating complex scientific principles into the language of the cosmos and vice versa. The task was daunting, bridging two worlds of thought and existence, yet in this crucible of necessity, I found a strength I did not know I possessed. The trust placed in me by both my people and the humans was a beacon, guiding me through moments of doubt and fear. As the appointed time drew near, our planet and the approaching celestial body on a collision course with destiny, we stood together, humans and my people, in a ceremony that was part prayer, part scientific endeavor. Around the planet, millions joined in meditation, focusing their thoughts and energies on the spacefaring engineers and scientists who were executing the physical aspect of our plan. The tension was palpable, a collective breath held across species as the human-made devices, enhanced by our cosmic understanding, approached the rogue celestial body. The moment stretched into eternity, each second a lifetime of hope and fear Then, in a burst of light that seemed to outshine the stars themselves, our efforts bore fruit. The celestial body's trajectory began to shift, minutely at first, but enough to steer it away from a catastrophic collision. Cheers and cries of relief echoed around the planet, a cacophony of joy that transcended language and species. We had faced the abyss together and emerged not just unscathed but united in a way that would forever alter the course of our shared history. In the aftermath of our victory, as we celebrated and mourned the close brush with oblivion, a new realization dawned upon us. This threat had not just been a challenge to overcome, but a catalyst for a deeper understanding and unity between our species. The fear that had once threatened to divide us had instead forged a bond stronger than the metals of the human ships or the stones of our ancient temples. This experience, harrowing as it had been, demonstrated the undeniable truth that our destinies were intertwined, that the future of our world and perhaps the cosmos itself lay in the strength of our partnership. As we looked towards the horizon, no longer with apprehension, but with a shared resolve, I knew that whatever challenges we might face, we would face them together, as allies, as friends, as two species bound by a common will to survive and thrive in the vast unfathomable expanse of the universe. As we emerged from the shadow of the celestial threat, our relief was short-lived. The universe in its infinite complexity unveiled yet another challenge, one that demanded not just our intellect and spirit but our courage and resolve. The hostile species, attracted by the cosmic disturbances of our recent endeavors, set their sights on our world, seeing in our vulnerability an opportunity for conquest. The news of this impending invasion spread through our communities and the human settlements, casting a new layer of fear over our already scarred hearts. But within this fear lay a spark of defiance, a refusal to succumb to despair. Both the humans, with their tales of resilience in the face of adversity, inspired us. Their history was marked by battles for survival, not just against the forces of nature but against their own kind. It was from these stories of courage, these legends of warriors and heroes, that we drew strength. The planning for our defense was a crucible of collaboration between our peoples. Humans brought their strategic minds and technological might to the fore, devising shields and weapons that could protect our planet and repel the invaders. We contributed our knowledge of the cosmos, our understanding of energy and vibration, to create barriers that were as much a product of our collective will as they were of technology. In the heart of this maelstrom of preparation, I found myself playing a role I had never imagined. My experiences with the humans, My journey from apprehension to admiration positioned me as a voice of unity, a symbol of the potential for cooperation between our species. I worked tirelessly, coordinating between human commanders and our own leaders, ensuring that every plan, every strategy, was imbued with our combined wisdom. The day of the invasion dawned, a day that would be seared into the memory of every being on our planet. The sky darkened, not with clouds but with the ships of our enemies, a swarm that blotted out the light. But we were ready. Our defenses, a tapestry of human engineering, and our spiritual focus, hummed with power, a shield around our world. The battle that ensued was unlike any our planet had witnessed. The invaders were relentless, their technology formidable. But for every attack there was a counter, every move met with resistance. The human ships, agile and fierce, danced through the onslaught, their pilots executing maneuvers that spoke of unmatched skill and bravery. On the ground, our people channeled the energy of the planet, reinforcing the shields and disrupting the invaders' attempts to land. In the midst of the chaos, I found myself aboard one of the human command ships, a liaison in the heart of the storm. From this vantage point, I witnessed the true extent of our unity. Human and alien crew worked side by side, their actions a seamless flow of efficiency and determination. My role was to communicate, to ensure that the flow of information was unbroken, that the spirit of our alliance remained strong. The turning point came when, drawing on a strategy born of our shared knowledge, we launched a counteroffensive. Small teams, composed of both humans and my people, infiltrated the enemy fleet, using our understanding of cosmic vibrations to disable their ships from within. It was a gamble, one that required the sacrifice of those who volunteered for the mission, knowing the risks. I watched, heart in my throat, as the teams executed their mission with precision, their success marked by the flickering out of enemy ships, one by one. The tide began to turn, the balance shifting in our favor, and through it all, the bond between us, the alliance that had been forged in the crucible of necessity, held strong, unbreakable. As the last of the enemy ships retreated, a cheer erupted from the crew around me, a sound that was mirrored in countless voices across the planet. We had faced annihilation and emerged victorious, not as separate peoples but as a united front. In the aftermath of the battle, as we mourned our losses and celebrated our survival, I reflected on the journey that had brought us to this point. The humans, once strangers from another world, had become brothers and sisters in arms, allies in the truest sense of the word. Our cooperation, our willingness to face the unknown together, had saved our world. This battle for survival was more than a conflict. It was a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. As we rebuilt, forging a future together on this world that we now shared, I knew that the legacy of this moment would be remembered not for the battle itself, but for the lesson it taught us. Together, we are stronger, and in unity, there is hope. In the quiet aftermath of our shared battle, the world around us began to heal. The scars left by the invasion slowly faded, replaced by a burgeoning sense of unity and purpose that transcended our previous divisions. As I walked among the rebuilding efforts, witnessing the intertwining of human and alien hands in the labor of restoration, I marveled at the transformation that had occurred. The humans who had arrived as mysterious invaders had become our trusted allies, our friends, our family. The journey from apprehension to admiration, from fear to friendship, was complete. Reflecting on the days before the humans' arrival, it seemed like a lifetime had passed. The uncertainty and curiosity that had marked our first encounters felt like the first tentative steps of a journey that had led us to this moment of shared triumph. A crisis, with all its fear and desperation, had revealed the depth of our capacity for cooperation and compassion. It had shown us that when faced with the unimaginable, we could rise together, stronger and more united than we had ever believed possible. The bond between our species was no longer just a matter of necessity, but a choice, a mutual decision to look beyond our differences and see the potential for a shared future. The humans, with their resilience and indomitable spirit, had inspired us to reach beyond our own limits. Their tales of struggle and triumph, once foreign, now resonated with our own experiences, weaving a rich tapestry of shared history and aspirations. To the spaces where once there had been silence, now there was dialogue. We shared our dreams for the future, our hopes for a world where our children could grow up without the shadow of fear. where the cosmos was not a realm of the unknown but a garden of endless possibilities. The exchange of knowledge and culture that had begun with cautious curiosity now flourished, a vibrant exchange that enriched both our civilizations. As I stood looking up at the stars, the same stars that had once seemed so distant and cold, I felt a warmth in my heart. The universe was no longer a vast expanse of emptiness, but a canvas of infinite potential, waiting for us to paint our shared dreams upon it. The challenges we had faced together had not only tested our resolve, but had opened our eyes to the beauty of diversity and the strength of unity. As of the future, once uncertain, now held a promise of endless exploration and discovery. Together, humans and my people could venture into the unknown, not as conquerors, but as seekers of knowledge, as stewards of the cosmos. The possibilities were boundless, limited only by our imagination and our willingness to journey together. Our shared victory had not just averted a crisis, it had laid the foundation for a new era of cooperation and friendship. As we looked forward to the horizon, to the adventures and challenges that awaited us, I knew that we were embarking on a journey unlike any before, a journey not just of survival, but of flourishing, a journey not taken alone, but hand in hand with our allies, our friends from another world. The new dawn that broke over our world was not just a symbol of the day's beginning, but a testament to the enduring power of hope and unity. As the sun rose, casting its light over a world reborn, I knew that we were standing on the threshold of a new age, an age of shared destiny, where the legacy of our partnership would echo through the ages, a beacon of light for all the cosmos to see. In this new dawn, we were not just survivors of the night's darkness, but architects of the day's light. Together, humans and my people would explore the vastness of the universe, not as separate entities, but as companions, bound by mutual respect and a shared vision of the future. The path ahead was uncharted, fraught with challenges and wonders beyond our imagining. But with each step taken together, we would discover not just the mysteries of the cosmos, but the depth of our own unity. And so, as I gazed upon the rising sun, I felt a peace within me, a conviction that whatever the future held, we would face it together. The story of our two species, once written in the stars as separate tales, was now a single saga of friendship and cooperation. In this new dawn, we would walk together into a future bright with the promise of shared dreams and endless possibilities.